Going on, guys? So, I just wanted to talk about, how this word makes you very cold and cruel, and especially if you're in this position, just like leads you nothing but a dark path and destruction. So, we all know that people in our position, they never had a chance. They're never given a chance. They always been ignored. They always been judged. They always been laughed at. They never been taken seriously, and they never been chosen. And when you go years and years of these stuff happening to you, you finally snap and you go crazy and you do stuff that you should never do. But you know, what I noticed is that a lot of people are losing their minds. I've noticed that. Especially when I go out and I see all these people, they just don't act normal, man. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or women. They both they don't act normal, and it has a lot to do with social media, with inflation, with the way things are, with this everything is like artificial intelligence, and people don't interact with each other anymore. People rather spend time on social media, spend time on scrolling through TikTok with the bullshit videos, and people rather like spend time on dating apps and all that crap, and they don't like to you know have face-to-face interaction. And also it has a lot to do with trust issues too, because people, generally speaking, they don't have trust for each other. And people are very standoffish, very secretive, very very selfish, and they're narcissists, man. It's been many times that I've been told that you should go out, you should interact with people and all that, but I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm not getting anywhere. I don't get anywhere except people are just treating me like garbage, except being clowned, and that little confidence that I have is just is getting shattered completely, by these demons, and I'm like, it's not worth it, man, because I can't fit in anyway. I cannot fit in anyway with nobody. I try to talk to people. I try to be cool. I try to be cordial, but just people just don't care, man. People don't care about you, your feelings, nothing, man. If you don't benefit them, they don't want you to be around. Or sometimes, like, what they do is that they just like talk down on you. They treat you a certain way just to boost up their ego. And it's not natural. Interaction is not natural anyway anymore. And with the rise of uh, technology, everything is becoming worse. Everything's becoming worse and worse because, like, literally people are living through technology. They're not living in reality. You know, and friendships don't mean nothing. Relationships don't mean nothing. Marriages don't mean nothing. Everybody's just, you know, everybody's living like a zombie. Just waking up. You know, they're so programmed. Everybody's just They either go to their bullshit jobs that don't pay anything, and they treat it like crap, and their coworkers are assholes, the bosses are assholes, the managers are assholes, and they have to deal with that for like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, 5 days, 6 days a week. And you know jobs these days feel like a prison, bro. Jobs these days, it feels like you clock in, you you spend behind bars for like 8, 9 hours until like they finally release you, you know, and you have to do the same thing over and over again the next day, and no wonder why like a lot of people just break, and a lot of people like spaz out on each other. I've seen coworkers fight with each other because like, some misunderstanding, because of some, because they have some issues like outside of work, and they want to bring it into the work. It's just like everything is bullshit these days, bro. Everything's bullshit, and it's you can't enjoy. You cannot. You can have you cannot have a good time. Like, if you're a guy, that is always alone. If you're a guy that doesn't get women and all that, if you're a guy that doesn't have friends, you can't really enjoy anything, And even if you have friends, your friends are fake. Your friends are snakes. Your friends are waiting for the right moment to stab you in the back, and they always talk behind you without you knowing it. They're always wearing a mask until like that mask, like, falls off one day. If you tell them, the wrong thing, or if they're in a bad mood, you know. So even if you have people, you can't really like enjoy your time with them, because you deep down inside, they're not like they don't have your best interest, deep down inside, like if you fall off, they're not gonna help you, and it really sucks, man. Like, we're living in this world that everything is just superficial. Everybody is just the same. Everybody, you just interact with people, everybody's just acting the same. Everybody is just so caught up in this fake idea that they're living, and everybody's living in the clouds, like, it's just sad, man. And certain men like me, they get treated like shit because of their genetics, because of their race, because of how they are, because of how they grew up, because of their mindset, because they cannot fit in, and it's just sad, bro. Just really sad. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like, more and more events are gonna happen in the future, and and it's gonna be worse, man. It's gonna be worse. And people these days walking around, they're angry, they're bitter, they're pissed off, you know, about their lives, about their situation. For whatever reason, some people they're going through like midlife crisis. Some people they're going through divorce. Some people they about to lose everything. You know, some people they're about to become homeless. Some people are about to lose their jobs. Some people are mad at their jobs. You know, some people are like they struggle with loneliness and mental illness. You know, actually, a lot of people are struggling with mental illness, and they waiting for the right moment to blow up on somebody. You know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's just like it doesn't take much to like you know to piss off somebody. You know, like you're walking on the street. You know, you just like look at somebody for more than like 2 seconds, and they already get pissed off. You know, and that's just that just tells you a lot. You know, like people are not happy, man. People are just angry, man. People are just they just want to spouse out on somebody, you know. And yeah, I noticed that a lot, you know. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but some people are actually waiting for an opportunity to go off on somebody, you know. Like so I don't know if you guys noticed, but some people are staring at you, you know, and they expect you to stare back and say something, so they start something. I'll be honest with you, like it happened to me many times, you know. Like it happened to me many times. Like I'm walking on the street and I see some dude, you know, just looking me up and down, you know, and waiting for me to look at him like or stare at him for more than like 1 or 2 seconds. And you know from there starts everything, you know. Or in some cases, you know, you talk to somebody and you think everything is cool, and you say one thing wrong, or you say one thing that they don't find appealing, and they're ready to like they're ready to fight you, bro. You know, this goes to show you like, you know, we're what type of world are we living, you know. And this is not healthy. This shit is not healthy, bro. And I know like everybody's going through something, but at the same time, you know, you gotta control your emotions. You gotta control your anger, you know. But people are not good at doing that. You know, people rather fight you or you know, or take their anger on you rather than like just walk away, you know, or rather than like just you know be calm, you know. Everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Everybody is just you know they want to release their frustration or out on somebody, you know. And it's not and and you guys got to be careful out here, you know. You guys got to be careful. You guys got to be smart, you know, because these motherfuckers they have nothing to lose, you know, but you got everything to lose. You have your freedom, you have your life, you know. But these people they don't care, man. If they die today, they don't care. If they go to prison today, they don't care. But they put you in trouble, you know. That's the thing. And some of them they get away with that. So you gotta be smart, man. You gotta be careful out here. My advice is don't mess with anybody. Just don't talk to anybody. Forget about making friends, you know, and try your best. Forget about like social media. You know, social media is not good, man. It's not good for your health, for your mental health, because you're watching somebody that is doing way better than you, and you feel like, oh, you know, I'm a loser. I'm never gonna be this, that, and the other. You know, you see a guy that has a mansion with like 50 girls around him, and you know, you be like, damn, I'm never gonna have that, you know, and you feel bad about yourself. You know, you get frustrated. So I would be like, you know, just stay away from social media, stay away from people, don't talk to people, you know, don't talk to these people, man. Like they ain't worth it. They're not worth it. These people are just, they're waiting for an opportunity to shit on you. And they're not your friends. Understand that nobody's your friend. Nobody's on your side. Nobody's gonna come and defend you. Nobody's gonna, you know, nobody's gonna take a side with you. Matter of fact, if somebody else is wrong and if you're the one who's right, people are gonna take the side of the person who's wrong. That's how people are, bro. And nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit nowadays. The judge doesn't give a shit. The cops don't give a shit. The nurses don't give a shit. Doctors don't give a shit. Teachers, nobody, bro. Your coworkers, your job, the law enforcement, like none of these people care about you, and you're just out there to defend for yourself, and all you can do is like good luck, man. It's a very cold and brutal and cutthroat world that we're living, man, and it's getting worse, day by day. Like you turn on the TV, all you see is like bad news, bro. Like the news is filled with bad news. I rarely see any good news when I turn on the TV, bro. All I see is that all these, the bleaky events. All I see is that somebody's getting robbed, somebody's getting somebody's getting killed, somebody's getting you know, R worded, somebody's somebody's getting molested. That's all I see, man. Somebody's getting stabbed, somebody's getting shot, and this is the type of world that we're living, man. Everybody's so angry about everything, and these politics just sit back and laughing at us, bro. These politicians, they just sit back and laughing at us, bro. Like all these people in power, they just don't give a shit, bro. Like they just they're sitting on top of the world and look at us like bunch of zombies and bunch of losers, and we're just killing each other for nothing, bro. We're just killing each other for nothing. And these people are so dumb. These people are so stupid that don't understand it's not other people's fault. It's just the politicians' fault. That's how they make rules, and that's how they tell us how to live and control us with social media and all that crap. Controlling our minds, how we have to behave and act and talk and dress and all that shit. Like if you're not a certain way, if you're not this guy, if you're not this tall, you're a loser. Like it's just brutal, man. And people believe that shit. People are so brainwashed. They're so easy to get brainwashed, bro. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think ever things will get better, but you know, let me know what you guys think, about this video. And I know I haven't made a video in 2 weeks. I was very busy. I was just working. I found a second job, but you know, I'm not working that. I'm working, but I'm just kind of tired. I'm burned out, and I just this past couple days I've been sick, so I called off work, and yeah, man. So that's all it is, man. So I'll see you guys on the next one.